this together. And just sorry about that. All right, we got something. So, gotta get to it. Okay, sorry. You know, I was looking around and I was just seeing, because I was pretty bored of work, and I was just like, what the heck am I gonna do? And I was just so bored. And so I just started taking a look at things and just thinking about the concepts based on those things. And so I was thinking, oh man, I love this game, Absolver, but it is a hard game to play. Come on. I'm a little doggy. Oh man, I'm freaking beat up. Sorry, I had that. Okay, let's do this. Okay, but yeah, game's such a hard game to play. Especially with these people, man, they will onslaught you if they get a chance. Ooh, that was a good one. See that? So it's kind of hard. Dang. Oh man, this game is challenging. Hold up, baby! Oh my gosh, he knocked me out. Gosh. Ooh, buddy. Oh man, dang it. I knew it. I wanted it. Oh man. Man, I wanted that win so bad I didn't think too smart. Damn it! Ah, dang it! Dang, I want that win. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry not to drop an F-bomb. Oh my gosh. I like it because I'm like, I know I have a chance, but yeah. Damn it, they keep it. gonna definitely learn. Damn it! See, that's why I can't stand. They keep attacking. I can't even get out of it. It's like those games in Street Fighter where they just loop you and the chain of attacks, and I'm like, how the heck am I gonna get out of it? I need some faster moves. That's what. God. Ah! See, I'm like, I know, I'm like, I won't get any better if I keep staying frustrated. I gotta be calm. I learn how to do a fight. Oh my gosh. It's fun when you know how to play it. It's just like Super Smash Bros. When you know how to play this game and play it well. It's like, it's fun because you know what you're doing. And see, I could have did something while he moving so much. Damn it! I don't even know that. Oh, you press it down. Okay, let's do it. Nope, not today, bro. Oh, finally! I finally got a win. Oh man, you don't know how good that feels to. But yeah, oh my gosh, finally. That's why I can't stand lag. I mean, he's good. It's just I can't stand it. I can't stand that lag. Like, it's better now. But I remember I had a lag and I'm like, oh, this thing is killing me. gosh, I'm sorry. Not even me, person. Cause I'm like, after I got that win, that dude went on the full offensive. I'm sorry, I need to keep my cool. So this is a game. It's a game of winning stuff. And I'm like, oh, I gotta stop being so. Cause if I get upset, I'm gonna lose my focus, and I'm not gonna play well. Cause I'm gonna be just instinctual. No, just far more eager to win, and like this brashness rather than being smart and like, okay, he do a delayed attack. Cause a lot of this is similar to games, like other games, like in 2D fighters. Excuse me, who has the quicker frame rate? You know. So, but part of this was also learning my moveset. You know, having a quick moveset, being fast. You know, and knowing my moves as a person. So it's good. It's good. It's just it can be frustrating when you lose a lot. Obviously, who likes losing? But kind of want to keep doing this. Not keep on doing it, but to get to the fold. That, you know, this makes a lot more sense. Cause you used to wonder why do we always go to from the start, all the way to the last part. And I'm like, it makes a lot more sense now. It's because you're doing all three of them. So it's like it progresses from one to the next to the next. No, buddy going. Oh, shoot, he's beating the fudge out of this man. Oh, get out of my face. Yeah, I gotta learn how to be better. Hey, golly. Hey. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Buddy wants. Oh my gosh, I pressed the button. Oh my gosh. I almost had him. Alright. Dang it. Yeah. I'm just not good at this game. Fuck. Hey. Yeah, sure. Damn it, move out the way, man. Man, this game is... Gosh. Wow, what a... I knew he was gonna be on some sneaky stuff. Man. High diggity. Quite a game, quite a game. Okay, let's try. So, how's it going? Oh my gosh, this game. Hey, how's it going, person? Broadcast. There we go. So we got somebody. We'll see how this goes, but we'll try your best. I'm going to try my best. So, philosophy and gaming. And Absolver is very interesting. The concept of fighting, and I don't really want to say culture, perhaps philosophy. But I haven't paid too much attention to Absolver. Man, this guy is serious. You know, I've been looking more decorative, but I'm pretty sure this guy is far more serious. Yeah, Zol is a very interesting game. It has a lot more. Knock my stuff clean off. How is he able to keep on doing that? I think it was mad tough. Yeah. I was just wondering, like, man, how did I get to this level again? Because I'm like, hot dog, yeah. gosh. Man. Game. Wait. I'm sorry. 420. Oh my god. My buddy was following me with this sword. Well, it seems like it's like Steve J. Yeah. It's a bad gaming start. He is going. Nope. Kind of makes me wonder why is Biden attached to the philosophy of this world here. It's a good question. I mean, it's a question I'm having because it does seem like it's not just mindless fighting or aggression. Sometimes when like when I used to play Bloodborne, or when I've been playing Bloodborne, they used to do extremely long combos. So one of the things I do is like count 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just count how long. But given them, these enemies have a lot of attacks in their set, in their combo. So it's like just try to be smart rather than be impulsive. That was what, 4, 5, 2, 3. Oh shoot! Dang. But yeah, just kind of in that sense how, because for me, I guess when I get too into it, I don't think properly, and I'm not even like paying attention on how to win. But it's like just the idea of winning is clouds my judgment. So, perhaps in the spirit of even myth, in the spirit of Absolver. perhaps it is a game. But when you really think about it, a lot of things aside, the idea of the game. Dang. It's not just. It kind of reminded me of Jordan Peterson when he was talking about how kids. How he says when he wants when kids play a game, when they play a game is that was tough. But when they play games, the idea isn't that the fact that that these kids win, but that they're a good participant in playing the game. And so it's similar to like sportsmanship and stuff like that. He does actually use sportsmanship as an example. Is that if a person, and I think he does this for rats and stuff, is if there's a smaller rat and a bigger rat, if they begin to play, you know, in roughhouse, and the little rat wins, the big rat wins, then the little rat will essentially request a challenge for the bigger rat again, and if the little rat continues to keep losing, the little rat will want to play with the bigger rat if that's proper. And so it kind of makes me wonder, like, and I think that's what he alluded to, being a good sport, of not really winning, because the bigger rat is of course superior in size and strength as well, so he's going to win every time. But if he brings the illusion of winning, and essentially not just, you know, faking a win, faking a loss, but more so bringing a challenge, then that shows that, hey, the smaller rat will find more enjoyment in the experience rather than continuously lose or continuously winning from the bigger rat. So in a sense, when we think about more so the game, that is competition, perhaps one of the things, apart from competence, apart from playing the game really well, is to present the idea of sportsmanship. You know, so but especially in terms of competitive gameplay, this level of competence isn't necessarily in terms of sportsmanship. It is, in a sense, a mixture of sportsmanship and competence. The reason why I say those two is because you could be very good and dominate them in, like, for instance, if you're playing like Street Fighter or something like that, or some sort of 2D scroller, you probably would, if you were far more superior than your friends, you could, at the right moment, end their entire life bar in one shot. But to continue to do that would, in a sense, show you a bad sport, because you don't give your friends, competition, or even a sense of competition, a sense of winning. So, sorry, it's a little loud. So, it kind of made me understand. It made me think about when I used to play my brother. He would, because he was stronger, it wasn't really a test of strength, but how you played the game. I mean, he would do like little role plays, like, you know, I'm the hero, or he's the hero, and someone's the villain, and so we just duke it out and, you know, pretend to get hit and stuff like that. And since he was a stronger person, he would have to hold back, you know, in order to play the game well, you know. So of course you could definitely say, oh, we're not playing a game, or we're not doing this and the other, you know, and then it's serious. Okay, sorry about that. So, because I could just get too into it where I'm like, I am trying not to die. So, so in playing a game that surpasses survival, which is one of those things that I always find very interesting in human race, is the idea of play. You know, because it's not really survival anymore, at least for the current time. It's more so like entertainment, and so good entertainment is the conflict and the struggle between good and evil, where it's like the evil is not only a obstacle, but it's also in a sense a coach, in a very perhaps they like an inverted sense, because the person doing, you know, the person not doing right or considered a villain in this instance is in their way, and they may defeat the hero, but they don't present the hero in a sense where there is no hope for him. There's no hope for growth. There's no hope for enjoyment. But it's more so like, okay, I defeated you in a capacity where you perhaps can get up, you know, and not only get up, but you have to get stronger. Take for instance in Naruto. If anybody watches Naruto, now you have Sasuke, especially like the beginning era of him. Like, he's a cold-hearted person, essentially, because these are kids, right? So then they all endure their pain, and as far as I can tell, the thing behind that is just like overcoming struggles and working together to overcome the problem of pain. So to shoulder the pain and get through the obstacles together, which is something that a common thing I've seen from Japan's comics and stuff. So in terms of this idea of overcoming the obstacles together, you have Sasuke and you have his brother Itachi. So you understand the reasons behind that is that Sasuke himself is in pain, and to resolve that pain, he has to avenge his entire family line's death, and the person who's the perpetrator of this of his family line's death is also someone within the family, which is his older brother Itachi Uchiha. You know, so his Uchiha line is completely decimated, and his older brother is the culprit. So in a sense, Sasuke's villain is his brother, and his aim is to be stronger for the sake of avenging his village. So, in the strangest of ways, he wouldn't have gotten stronger. He could have gotten stronger for other means, but he wouldn't have gotten to the drastic level from what we know at that time. He wouldn't have gotten stronger if it wasn't for his brother. Now perhaps if he did have his brother, he'd have no reason to be strong. You know, they say peace makes you weak. So it's like he would have no reason to be strong because they were at peace. And so his idea, dang, got him back. So the ideal is Sasuke's ideal is in a sense is more so a purposeful one rather than the ideal that reflects all of us. But in a sense, it still does reflect all of us because it's the idea of a coming of age. You're one place, you're weak, and now you have to get to another place to be strong. So Sasuke has to defeat his brother, and in defeating his brother, he's strong. He's avenged his family. Not too sure what else you could do after that, but he's fulfilled his mission. But you see, the dynamics of that story is because Sasuke not only has one villain, you have another villain. Dang. he has another villain, and that's Naruto. You know, the main character of the story. Ah, man, that was tough. Okay, wait a sec. What are these extra things for? Is this? I guess I was kind of wondering what that was, because I see it at the upper right. It's like these it looks like a score, like a increased score. I didn't know what that was exactly. Yeah, I keep trying to build this up because I'm trying to get my stamina together. But so I was thinking in terms of, you have the main character. Now he's his obstacle. So, but the interesting part is that Naruto himself is not only an obstacle, but almost like a solution to his problem. But it's conflicting with his goals to be stronger, and also his personal goals for honoring his family by taking down not only their accuser but their killer. So what I was thinking is more so, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought because my focus shifts around. Oh, so the aim is being stronger. Okay, so you have Naruto, his aim is to be stronger because for the protection of his friends. So again, it's interesting how the narrative shifts over from being stronger to focusing on what's more important. You know, is it strength or is it the bonds you have with your family? Oh, snap. So even later on during Sasuke's story, he's in conflict with these ideals, you know, in terms of should he let go of this desire to be stronger for the sake of his family? I mean, for the sake of honoring his family. Or should he, is more so, should he accept his new family that was lost because he was weak? Or should he regain what's left of him, which is his honor of them? Dang, he is knocking me down the tree. Yeah, so, I'm sorry, okay, sorry. So, I'm sorry, so family honor versus power. And so these values continue to intermingle. But okay, I'm sorry. I finally got my point back. Family values versus power. And I guess I do want to say that those values they're not only intermingle, but they kind of like switch places. Not just in terms of in the story, but they also they also kind of challenge each other. You know, in terms of the anime Naruto, he wants power to save his friends, so that against their enemies, they won't be harmed. But I guess he learns that one of his enemies, that too much power can lead to corruption, you know, and even hating your enemies can lead to corruption. And so you run to a greater solution that is more so seeking peace with your brother, you know, and yeah, seeking peace with your brother. You know, rather than fighting your brother for the sake of trying to keep the peace, you have to make peace with him. And so we have a third option now. Instead of preserving your family values, you seek peace with them. You know, and I guess in a sense, well, that's always a good option. What happens when there's a second party, the second party of a person who doesn't really want to make peace? Well, if that's the case, you have to make a war with them. And that's the troubling fact, is that not everybody wants to seek the peaceful route, and not everyone wants to agree. You know, sometimes that person just wants to fight and battle and have their own way of succeeding. So I'm going back to the idea of sportsmanship in terms of just real life. And that's more so like you have people who you can work with, and there are some people that you will probably have to only tolerate for a small period of time before you have to remove yourself from them, because they just have a tendency to do what they want to do. So in this, you follow the narrative. But in terms of the Absolver, I guess you keep climbing up the ranks, and you become this Absolver, and I'm guessing you fight this ancient enemy, you know, and you know, it's a simple story. I mean, it's fine, it's a simple story. This person from another ancient world calls you from that same ancient world to stop an ancient evil from that same ancient world, and can't say what's going on, what he wants to do. Maybe he wants to take over the world or something like that, you know. And even then, in this, are you even able to talk to him? Well, because this game is based on fighting and battling. Probably not. You probably will have to battle such a person, you know, because this person is unwilling to be. It kind of makes me wonder about this Bible reference where it says like a good way to teach a fool is, well, not a good way to teach a fool, but a fool, the best way to teach a fool is be obedient. Oh, what the heck is that? Oh no, outside SP. Okay. And that's simple. That's kind of adding on to the idea that the fool is a person who is who simply decides for themselves not to think, or not to consider things, not to consider certain ideas, reconciliation, or anything that leads to a far more purposeful understanding. So, okay. I keep trying to go back to the sportsmanship, but I lost my place on that one. You know, you play the game. I keep feeling like I guess I'm done with that part. The idea, the wisdom behind fighting and gaming, it was a matter of competence and who can play the game better. And not only that, who can have the greatest amount of showmanship. You know, because think about it, if you want to show the greatest amount of competency, it's not just the idea of like being extra flashy. Perhaps it's just pressing the same button over and over again. You know, you spam them until you win. You know, that's one way of winning, but you feel cheated because you just use one way of winning. And another way of winning, you could perhaps use a plethora of the move set to win. And in this one, and in this game, you could definitely apply this move set to not only seem like it's a fair match, but that you've you've won it through a rather not exceptional means, but more so a acceptable means. Yeah, more acceptable means. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and going back to the idea of competence, I say it's more so is even better with competence because and ideas of showmanship like mercy and such like that is that it adds a lot more complexity to a simple game. Because if this was just about strength and who could fight someone far more easy, who could defeat your opponent quicker, well, what's to stop you from grabbing some sort of weapon and versus a person who's barehanded and clocking them over the head and saying I won? Well, that wouldn't be showman. That wouldn't be a good spirit of competitive play. So you use all these weapons at your arsenal, and decide you decide to show better competency of your skills versus the other person, and you use that plethora of skills to determine and also counteract your opponent's moveset. You know, and in this one they go a little more technical by going by frame rate. So it's like who has the quicker frame rate, you know, and how do you shave off seconds from your frame rate? You know, you perform certain things and you shorten that frame rate to get a quicker delivery. So the philosophy or the loving wisdom behind that is just who can best each other at a complex game. And that'll definitely take like patience, a little more, yeah, a lot of patience, a lot of practice, and a lot of just mindfulness of your skills and how to counteract the other person's skills. So, I guess that's it. I don't know. I really want this to be something better, something far more important, but I don't have a lot to say about it. To me, that's just how it boils down to. It's just competence, showmanship, sportsmanship, and essentially having a good game without making the other person feel cheated. And I think part of that is just making them feel like they have a chance, even if you're far more competent, far more, uh, uh, just far more able to defeat your opponent. Which is the idea behind One Punch Man, is that it would be extremely boring if he one punched every single person who came his way. It's like that's why you see the flashiness. That's why you see him dodging and stuff, because despite him being able to end everything in one punch, it has very little to do with him ending every person with one punch, and more so to do with Saitama's environment that surrounds him, with everyone who can't end people in one punch, and even what it takes to be a hero, because it's not just strength or competency, it's the showmanship, it is the sportsmanship of the individual. So that's one of the reasons why you see the enemies in One Punch Man. They show all this plethora of skills and stuff, and he dodges them. He gives them a show. You know, he allows them to do what they do, and he ends them. You know, because ultimately he doesn't make them feel cheated, and therefore he doesn't make the narrators don't make us feel cheated. Other people come by who face other individuals who's not Saitama. You know, like for instance, what's his name, Moomin Rider, when he was facing the Sea King, and he had all these grand gestures of fighting and never giving up. and you was like, according to anime standards, he should win, but he still lost. But you have so much emotional investment because these are qualities that reflect you. They're almost in a sense projected onto you because you relate to that. You relate to, I shouldn't give up because even if my obstacle seems like it's unstoppable, I still have to keep on pressing forward, and I have to climb, and I have to overcome. So why would Saitama come through and suck up all that energy, that vitality, which is surprising enough because he was still human, before he became the strongest being satirically in his world. So it's like he's still smart, just because he's the strongest being ever, he's still a smart individual, and he's not gonna take care of everything, probably because he understands that, hey, there's no fun in that. There's no fun in simply destroying your enemies. Sometimes you need nuance and elaboration in these encounters. So CK, he got beat up, but he ended Moomin Rider got beat up, but he knew that not only this wasn't just the idea of strength. He's like, the people need, especially as he's understanding what it takes to be a hero, that Moomin Rider needed, the crowd needed a Moomin Rider. They needed a person to rally them up, to build their morale, to believe in a hero. And so despite him being beaten up and by a far stronger opponent, they needed to believe, yes, this person which is essentially kind of like the essence of an anime. It's not just about the strongest person, which is the reason why in other manga or in other comics, that's the reason why people who are suddenly here, who just are suddenly created and are said to be stronger than pre-existing characters, that's why we get so offended, because we didn't have any emotional investment. It's like, we invested in him, and because we grow, we go through all these things, we feel like that's like their social resume almost as to why they're where they're at. Even in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like that's why we feel so much for Tony Stark. He went through a lot. He went through Afghanistan. He had his family killed. He just continued to grow and had those visions of an impending danger, just all this stuff, all this time and investment, and for someone to, and it doesn't matter, like, yes, there's a bias, but if it could have been any person, and if that person came by and said, hey, I'm stronger, faster, better, younger than Tony Stark, here I am, we would respect them because we don't have any emotional investment in them. Ultimately, it's, who are you? Who are you? We don't know who you are. You haven't walked with us. Essentially similar to a relationship. So I find that very interesting. Just how do you make a synthetic relationship like that? Well, you copy and paste relationship from not so much yourself, but more so the ideal of a relationship, the obstacles or struggles, the overcoming of a relationship, the relationship between him as a fictional character in regards to other people, how he handles things, the who, what, when, where, and whys of this person, and then you extend this, have this going to continuum for a long period of time. And I hope some people hear me, but a long period of time, and then you garner loyalty if this is good enough. And so that definitely trumps any person, because we have, which is really shocking to me, despite us not necessarily knowing awareness in itself, we are willing to discard our personal reality, our own realities, the objective reality, to believe in realities that people make up. The one above all, that's characterized as somebody far greater, far knowledgeable than us. We're able to discard our own reality for a quick second and dive into comic books and say, this, for me, at this moment is real. When I'm watching Marvel comic books, it's not me personally watching this is me being a onlooker, watching superheroes do their thing, fly around and do all these things. And so it's like they're giving us a show, but they're teaching us plenty of things without being so direct. And essentially, it's so successful because it's a lot of it's done so well, and is nuanced so well, to the point where you're like I'm in this, like I'm watching this show and I'm in this show. This is great, I'm watching the Avengers. They're getting upset. I'm getting riled up. I'm not even in this. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And so it's very good. It's like it's surprising, because we don't know ourselves in this. We know ourselves, but we don't know like why or what makes. We know the hows and the whats, but we don't really know the whys as to why. Why we exist? Why we are where? Why are we even? Why are we even aware to begin with? And don't even think too hard about that. It's just you can't understand why you're aware of life. Which is the greatest question we keep asking ourselves. Why are we here? Why are we around here? Why do we exist? And I tell you, it's just a hard thing. We just don't know. We don't know. We know we came from our mother's womb, but that's the most we know. We don't know why we're here, why we're conscious, why we're aware, why any of this stuff. We just know. We just try to find surrounding things to fill the gaps where there is those metaphysical places, those metaphysical gaps. And one reason why even myself can just watch these characters, especially if it's done well, we can even become these characters. I created this character. I'm not even sure if any of these garbs go together, but I created him, and in a sense, he's a reflection of me in this world. Not a good reflection, of course, but a reflection nonetheless, where he's walking around, he's in a virtual sense having his being, and he's doing his thing. And they do extremely well. You see just everything about this is amazing. Like, man, it almost seems to me like a painting, almost just a 3D painting. Like I can only imagine just people making such a thing like this. It's pretty, beautiful, and it just seems like it's based off regular geometrical shapes. Complex ones, of course, but it's very nice, it's pretty. So that's what I get. Whole philosophy, love of wisdom, and gaming. And again, also that made me think about, especially my last point about media. Should it be purposeful or should it not? Should it just be for pure entertainment? Can you just be a gamer? And do you have any social responsibilities? I think because life is very complicated and has a bunch of nuance and all that stuff, these questions do too. Oh snap, I think these folks need to back off. Dang, all these people, gosh. Dang, I'm screwed. Dang. I'm fine. Well, that's all I got for today. This is like an hour and 12 in it, so I appreciate anybody who's been stopping by. I don't know. I don't know if anybody can hear me, but I hope that I hope this was good. Next time I'm gonna try Bloodborne. I'm far more comfortable is less of a word, but more so familiar with Bloodborne. So I'm gonna try that one out and do a little bit of that talking and that. So I'll see you guys later.